What's up, guys? Welcome back to the bootleg studios of Rant Roller Sports. And today we're going to talk about the impact of the Rudy Gobert trade from the Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I'm going to use 2K21 here. I don't have 2K22, but I downloaded the latest rosters, but there's some imperfections there. But just to give you an overall give you my overall opinion of the trade and the direction that the Minnesota Timberwolves should go in now that they've sent all those draft picks and those, a few assorted role players over to the Utah Jazz. To me, that trade signaled that they want to win now and they want to contend for a championship in the next 2 years. So how do they go about that? How do they turn around first and second round exits out of the playoffs and actually have a chance to actually get to the finals, or at the very least the Western Conference Finals, and then maybe next year the finals as the talent progresses, namely Anthony Edwards here. But right now the focus of this video is Rudy Gobert, the 7'1" center, nicknamed the Stifle Tower because he's from France. I don't know if he's from Paris or not, but he's from France. He's French. And what I see here as team deficiencies moving forward and what they need to add or subtract. And so to do that, I'm going to slide this over here to the perimeter defense category, right? I'm going to sort it from the best to the last so far that they have here. Kyle Anderson of San Antonio Spurs fame is on the squad, according to this download. I'll have to fact check after, but this is just a basic video of where they need to go and if in order to maximize the Rudy Gobert trade. I'm talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, not the Utah Jazz. They signaled that the Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell pairing was not working, chemistry issues, whatever the issue is, and they decided to move forward by taking a couple steps backwards. Or maybe they feel in this new up-tempo, three-point happy playing style that the league has, that Rudy Gobert is not as effective as the amount of money that he's making. All right, but before we get to the money, I'm going to show you some deficiencies that I spotted right off the bat when I put on my GM hat. And that is this. They're deficient in perimeter defense. According to this, Anthony Edwards and Kyle Anderson are their best defenders, and they're not even A+ defenders. They're B-level perimeter defenders. So, and it doesn't get any better as you go down. You have B-, C+, C+, C-, D+. Of course, Gobert is an inside defender, so we don't count it against him for having such a low perimeter defense rating, but it does signal that he has issues switching on the high pick and roll and defending the three-point shot. Or even defending the penetrator to the basket. They gave him a grade of a D+ for perimeter defense. And it just gets worse from there. Okay, so that's the first flaw that I see that the Minnesota Timberwolves need to address if they're going to go forward and try to win a championship with Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, and Anthony Edwards as their pillars, as their anchors. The second issue I saw was athleticism. Okay, Anthony Edwards should probably be an A. So this is not perfect, folks, but let's just give you a basis for conversation here. They have a problem with top shelf athleticism, according to this roster here, which is basically top heavy with Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, and D'Angelo Russell. After that, you have a bunch of who's and role players. But that being the case, maybe D'Angelo Russell's athleticism should be rated higher than a B minus. Okay, but you get the point. The point is, it's a bad combination of lack of top level athleticism to go along with lack of perimeter defense, and they can score. Um, D'Angelo Russell here can go off for 30 points at any time, give you 40, the way that the game is played today. But he'll also give up 30 on the other end, as his perimeter defense rating here is a C minus. And I can't really argue that it's much better than that from the D'Angelo Russell that I've witnessed. I could be wrong. Maybe it could be closer to a C or maybe even a C plus. But this is one of the pillars of your team, and he's playing the point guard position, where we have a bunch of point guards that score the ball. So his inability to play above average defense at the point guard position is a major weakness come playoff time, right? Especially when he's a perimeter-oriented jump shooter. We all know that these guys tend to fade down the stretch late in the season in the playoffs. And if they're not compensating for it by playing defense, then there's going to be an issue. All right. Then you have, you have Anthony Edwards, who I believe can be a top level defender, but he hasn't shown that yet. Can he score the ball? Absolutely. Amazing athlete, right? To me, his physicality should be rated higher than a B plus. But that's neither here nor there. He's a top level prospect, young player, soon to be an all-star. All right, then you have Kyle Anderson. He can score the ball a little bit, right? He can stretch the floor, can make the 3-point shot. They have his 3-point shot rated a B plus right here. Rudy Gobert, not a perimeter player at all. Not going to give you much on offense. If he gives you 15 points, you're happy because he'll rebound the ball and block shots. But can you run an offense through Rudy Gobert? He hasn't demonstrated that can happen yet. Can he go on and post on the high post like Tim Duncan used to, or Kevin Garnett, and draw a double team and pass out of that and create open shots? To this point, he hasn't shown much ability to do that, to draw a double team. So he has to work on being more of a threat offensively. All right, so let's get to the numbers. The salary cap. Okay, let's look at top to bottom. Who's making the most? Who's making the least? Karl Anthony Towns rated here at almost $30 million. Right? Going into the 31-65, going in 2021-22 season. 33 million going into the 22-23 season. So let's level him off right around 32 mil a year. Karl Anthony Towns. My issue with him is that the Rudy Gobert trade will actually help him be that finesse four that he really is. He's really not a classic back to the basket center, offensively or defensively. To me, his defensive impact needs to improve. In the playoffs against Memphis, I saw time after time where guys laid the ball up on him, drove around him, shot over him. His defensive impact at times was minimal. So yes, he can score the ball, but he's not a defensive presence, especially in the playoffs. Neither is D'Angelo Russell. So what can we do to improve this? Well, we got to try to bring in some athleticism and some perimeter defense. So let's look at some trade scenarios. D'Angelo Russell is making, let's round him off at around 30 mil a year. He's a one-way player that hasn't showed that he can be very impactful come playoff time, either in clutch situations offensively, nor being contributing much on the defensive end. So let's see if we throw his hat, uh, if we throw his paper in the trade hat, what can we come up with? Of course, now some of these trade scenarios are very unlikely. Like it's very unlikely the Bucks would offer up Chris Middleton for D'Angelo Russell, and Chris Middleton has proven he's a championship player, so that would not really happen unless they had inside information that Chris Middleton was hurt and was not going to be the same player. So let's look at the second deal: Kobe White and Derrick Jones. No. Karis LeVert and Ricky Rubio. No. Karis LeVert doesn't play enough defense for me. So he would basically be someone very similar to D'Angelo Russell. Ricky Rubio does play some perimeter defense. But no, I think we can do better than this. I'm looking for athleticism, and Ricky Rubio really doesn't bring that to the guard position. He's about average athletically. Danny Green and a first-round pick. No, we're not looking for more draft picks. We're looking to win now, so I'm not considering draft picks. Would Miami swap Kyle Lowry for D'Angelo Russell? If I'm looking to win in the next 2 years, I make this deal if that deal is on the table for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know Kyle Lowry is older, going on 35, maybe even 36 years old, but I think he's around 35. And D'Angelo Russell is nowhere close to 30. But Kyle Lowry has proven himself in winning moments, winning a championship with the Toronto Raptors and making many key contributions both offensively and defensively. So I would definitely pull the trigger on this, but I doubt Miami would be willing to take on D'Angelo Russell because of their strict adherence to defense and attention to detail that I don't think D'Angelo Russell would be a good fit for that Miami squad. Gordon Hayward, no thank you for obvious reasons. He doesn't offer what I'm looking for, athleticism on the perimeter and perimeter defense. We have enough scoring. Malik Beasley and Patrick Beverly, no thank you. Harrison Barnes and Malik Monk, no thank you. Am I overrating D'Angelo Russell's worth? Maybe. But he's a young star, not a superstar. He's a young star around 25, 26 years of age. So I'm going to try to get the most. Mitchell Robinson and Evan Fournier, no thank you. Terrence Ross and a first-round pick, no rebuilding. Spencer Dinwiddie and Dwight Powell. Dinwiddie's got 1 year left on his deal here, so I wouldn't make that deal, and Dinwiddie does not play the lockdown defense I'm looking for either. A pick and McConnell, no thank you. Kelly Olynyk and Diallo, no thank you. Boban and David Nwaba, no thank you. A pick and Doug McDermott, no thank you. So I didn't find nothing satisfactory there except for this deal here with Kyle Lowry, but that would be a start. Now, what I might do here now is look for a trade finder. Let's just say the Bulls were interested in moving Lonzo Ball because they didn't want to pay him. So let's see what we can get, who we can trade. Would I trade D'Angelo Russell for Lonzo Ball? Yes, I would in this situation. All right, and the throw-ins in the trade are Jordan McLaughlin, an average point guard, and Tony Bradley, an average center. They're on 1 year deals, not making much money. Would I take this chance and try to convince Lonzo Ball to re-sign in Minnesota? Sometimes you have to swing for the fences. What I know right now is he would cut my salary cap, $28 million versus $11 million. He gives me the athleticism, the perimeter defense, the playmaking that I'm looking for this team. He's a start. All right. Would I pull the trigger on that? I also would pull the trigger on that deal. Some people wouldn't. They don't believe in Lonzo Ball, but to me, I've seen enough to where I believe he would be a significant upgrade on the Minnesota Timberwolves over D'Angelo Russell, particularly come playoff time when the game slows down a bit, guys' jump shots stop falling, and defense comes into play. Longer reach, he's 6'6". He plays the passing lane, talking about Lonzo Ball, and he can make the perimeter shot. He's improved his free throw shooting, and he's driving the basketball more aggressively. So he's definitely on the uptick, and he's a little younger than D'Angelo Russell. So these are just a couple of trade scenarios that I would look to improve this Minnesota Timberwolf team. And the direction I'm going in is more half court play and more defense. I'm looking to slow the game down because their star players are not very athletic, Gobert and Towns. So you can't have the rest of the guys running up and down, and these two guys are never involved in the offense. All right? Especially Karl Anthony Towns. I believe he needs the game slowed down at times so he can be involved in some pick and roll situations and get his open shots spreading the floor. The one issue and problem with in modern basketball, I prefer all five guys in the lineup being able to knock down that three-point shot. And thus the issue that could be Rudy Gobert unless he makes himself more effective in the paint. That's one way he can remedy that, not stretching the floor offensively by being able to shoot the three, by just being more aggressive and using his size underneath and in the paint. And, being more forceful and aggressive and more effective down low. So I'm going to cut this short. I might make a part 2 to this. I may not. It's just my thoughts on how the Minnesota Timberwolves should go about handling this Rudy Gobert trade, the direction that they should go in, which should be more defensive, more half-court oriented, and look to acquire athleticism, perimeter defense, and length on the perimeter as far as their guards and swingmen. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Rant Roller Sports. Peace.